Ué. Perde meu progresso. Menos mal, né? Já pensou? Passar do zero, velho? Nossa, né? Eu choro. Tá, deixa eu ver. Nível 9.
It's locked, all right.
Nível 9, passando fome. Ué? Ah, tá. Mano, não você vai jogar, velho. 4. 2. Ah, não você vai jogar, velho. Calma, mano. Vou voltar pra gameplay. Como que se, velho? Lembrei. Ah, mano, não gosto dessa habilidade, velho. Quase você poder à toa, mano. Você acredita, mano? Mano. Opa. Gastei meu XPzinho à toa, gente. Meio broken, né? Mano, pra onde tem que ir, velho? Tá muito louco. Caraca, hein? Tô jogando, mano. Tô jogando. Nossa, só essa acessibilidade tá quebrando comigo, velho. Pera. Pera. Ai, Jesus. Eu sei lá pra onde tô indo, mano. Meu Deus, boss. Ó, nível 13, gente. Será que eu mostro minha gameplay, mano, pra eles? Será que eu deixo eles em choque? Até o quê? Ali. Ó, nível 3, ó. Ó como o cara é bom. Ah, mano, pelo amor de Deus, né, mano? Os caras ainda estão mais clicando comigo, velho. Não troco nem sei o que eu tô fazendo, velho. Essa é real, mano. Só tô indo, velho. Calma aí, fera. Eu te mato. Meu vigor! Meu vigor! Nossa, desviei na hora. É nos dois. Boa. Ó. Estou perdido.
I cannot enter.
Tá, mano. Eu tenho que chegar no mano Cleitinho. Mas cadê o cara, velho? Nó! Nossa, eu tô dando... Nossa, eu tô dando a volta lá em Nárnia, mano. Nossa, tá louco. Vou chegar nunca lá, mano.
It's locked.
Tá. Mas aqui onde que eu tô mais eu fico preso aqui, ó. Tem que vir pra cá, ó. Tá. Porta. Tem que passar nessa porta tranca. Ah, não. Ah, eu não vou ter que dar a volta. Tô tiltado, velho.
I cannot enter.
Véi. Parece na porrada, o cara do sangue. Fiquei full sangue? Fiquei. Mano, todo lugar me leva a nada, velho. Como assim? Não sobe nem em cima? Tá me zoando, não sobe nem em cima. Mano, minha cabeça tá bugando, velho. Calma. Aqui tá trancado. Vou ter que dar a volta em tudo então, mano. Ah, só pode estar me tirando, né? Só pode estar me tirando, né? Tem que vir pra lá, velho. Como que eu passo lá, mano? Oh, Jesus. Ah, eu entendi, acho que eu entendi. Tá, tá, tá. Aí, agora sim. Agora estamos num The Games. Nível 18. Vem. Vem pro duelo. Meu senhor. Meu senhor. Tô brincando, meu senhor. Meu Deus do céu. E agora? Mano, vou ter que culpar, velho. Nossa, agora eu levei pro pessoal, mano. Buguei o cara, buguei o cara. Vamos aproveitar, vamos aproveitar. Buguei o cara. Vou passar de primeira. Me zoando. Resumido. Tá uma loucurada aqui, gente. Sai! Jesus amado. Tá, matei. E nem sei os mais. Jesus. Vou morrer. Tá. Mano, eu perdi o carinha lá, mano. Tá. Tô curada. Nem sei onde que eu tô me metendo, gente. Grave. Nossa, só deve ter os tryhard aqui, velho. O que eu tô fazendo na minha vida, velho? Nível 13. Recupera a vida, recupera a vida. Meu Deus. Morri. Eu buguei. Meu amigo do céu, mandei ele uma manobra ali que eu nem sei como que eu fiz. Mas deu certo. Misericórdia. Mano, tem que culpar, velho. Os bonequinhos tá ficando on fire já, mano. Estou começando a clicar eles. Calma, Fer, tô chegando. Calma, Fer, tô chegando. Aí. Eu também sei fazer isso, ô carequinha. Tá. E aí, meu senhor, certinho? Como tu tá?
What? What happened? Who are you?
It's all right, sir. You're safe now.
Oh, a fellow Englishman. Thank you, sir. For a moment, I thought those bloody heathens had killed me.
What are you doing here? This place is not safe.
Yeah, it's a cesspool, but it's mine. I came to collect some overdue rent, but those who still live here have gone completely bonkers.
You're very lucky to be alive.
Yeah, filthy immigrants. Fucking savages, every one of them. And now with this bloody fever, they're just animals.
You can find safety of sorts in Whitechapel. If you're quick and cautious, you'll be able to avoid the savages.
Mano, 350 de XP. Eu acho que não compensa matar ele, né? Eu posso matar ele se eu quiser. Mas 350 de XP, será que vale? Ih, foi sem querer. Agora já era. Ah, mano, é agora, velho. Ei, não sei se vai me prejudicar no futuro, mano. Mas é XP, né, cara? Ah, vai, mano.
Was I that evil to deserve such punishment? My only regret is that no one will mourn me, for I have never been loved.
O registro com... Só merdeiro. Só merdeiro. Ah, mano, sei lá, cara. O cara é XP, velho. Não, os caras que vão ficar matando os bichinhos lá passando raiva. Os caras que lute. Olha esse destroço, mano. Mais uma pergunta. Como os caras sabem que eu matei o Mano Bro? Ninguém tava lá pra saber. Hein? Eu preciso upar, velho. Eu tô pensando em resetar e upar só as passivas, velho. Ah, mano, aquela habilidade de escudo ali bem cocô.
It's locked.
Pera aí, eu peguei uma chave do cara, a impressão minha. No meu inventário. Olha, aqui é meio meme. Tem uma chave, velho. Calma aí. Será que na casa do cara tem alguma porta aqui pra abrir? Vamos dar uma averiguada, gente. Vai spawnar os caras de novo, né? Não tem, né? Esse tá aberto, esse aqui também é aberto. Não, acho que tá tudo aberto aqui. Tá. É só deixar o coisa ruim. Será que tá acontecendo alguma coisa?
I cannot enter.
Ah. Acho que eu vou. Mano. Ah, tá, tô ligado onde que é. Tem aqui. Para. Ah, não. Mentira que tá... Acertar, eu agradeço. Mentira que eu ia morrer pra esse cara, né, mano? Começando a ficar preula, velho. Não dá pra vir aqui, mano. Vamos lutear, né? Não. Vamos lá pra aqui, né? Tá. Melhorar, mano. Nível 2. No nível 3. Pera aí. Aumente isso aqui. Ah, tá. Nossa, já fiquei, ué. Roubado, hein? Mano, vou focar nas passivas, velho. E aí, as passivas é o... É gameplay, mano. Foi quanto essa carne isso aqui? Eu não sei. 2.000, velho. Dois mil é muito sangue, hein? Tá louco? Assim que eu gosto, velho. Ah. Ah. Matar todo mundo pra me ficar como? Forte. Na verdade? Ah, mano, tem um mano Cleiton. Ah, velho. Ah, tá me zoando. Tá me zoando, já tem um carinha aqui já. Tá me zoando, velho. Morte! Ah, mano. É, mano, eu tenho que focar nas passivas, velho. Vem, então. Calma aí, deixa eu só morder esse cara aqui. 100 de dano só, mano. Morreu. Sai. Nossa, mano, eu vou poder dar mais dano que a minha mordida, velho. Como assim? Tá meio errado isso, não tá? Acho que eu vou reset. Não, 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 não. Ah! Vai. Mas... Ah! Mas vai ser broke esse aqui, mano. Pior que o jogo é bom, hein? Eu que sou ruim. Toma ali. Toma ali. Toma ali. Toma ali. Ah. Sou um vampiro, cara. Eu tenho que fazer isso. 2. Bah, vai perder. Vai perder pra um cara nível 10 passando fome? Isso mesmo, lobinho? Estamina, estamina. Morreu. Quantos XP eu ganhei? Ah, tá me zoando que eu ganhei só 5 de XP, velho. Ah, pelo amor de Deus, mano. Vou começar a matar os pessoal, mano, então. 5 de XP, velho. Misericórdia, mano.
The safer places to be than here. Oi, you! Stop there! Die, vermin!
Um já foi. Nossa, eu tô muito bom, velho. Quem tiver na frente leva junto, hein? Quem tiver na frente leva junto, hein? Quem tiver na frente vai. Tá full vida e full sangue. Eu consigo, boa. Tá. Caraca, mano, mata esses caras ainda mais XP do que aquele grandão lá, velho. Vai entender, né?
Whitechapel. This neighborhood is linked somehow to the kind Lady Ashbury's blackmail. First, let's find this Petrescu fellow.
Ó a merda começando. Deixa eu fazer rapidão, gente. Cadê? Aqui. 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 2.000, velho, de sangue. Nossa, mano, vou matar todo mundo, velho. 2.000 de sangue. Mano. Ah, eu vou, velho. Ah, eu vou. Ah, eu vou. Como que upa? Como que upa, mano? Porque pra me pegar isso aqui vai ter que ter nível 4. Será que tem que matar os carinha pra me upar? Ou é uma habilidade minha? Ah, velho. Nossa, vou levar todo mundo pra vala, velho. Ah, mano, não quero saber não. Quero sangue. Sou um vampiro. Sangue em primeiro lugar. Ó, ó. Ó, mais um que eu vou levar pra vala, ó. Quer ver? Quer. Mano, eu posso ir ali? Consigo.
Are you all right?
The bastard hit the wall next to me.
Ah, mano, porque eu fui falar com ele, eu quero pegar o outro.
If you've been hurt, I can help you. I'm a doctor.
Name's Albert.
Médico de ar, mordida.
I found the recruiter you were expecting. He's dead, but he carried a note. The Wet Boot Boys have accepted your application.
I knew it! I told you I was tough enough. I'll be free soon.
Mano. Mano, quantos que ele tem? Ah, vamos, vamos. Ah. Eu quero ver o merdeiro, velho. Ah, que pariu, não posso. Ah, tu tá em pé, velho. Tá, calma, deixa eu ter lá. Tá, primeiro vai esse, calma. Tá, eu tenho que curar ele pra depois poder... Tá, calma. Tá, o homem que tá... O que é o F? Quinhentão, velho. Nossa, tu vai, mano. Me desculpa. Desculpa, mano, mas tu vai, cara. Tu tá quase morrendo já, não tem mais cura pra ti. Não faça isso, gente, pelo amor de Deus, né? É um jogo. Eu sou um vampiro, né? Então, né? Preciso de sangue. Quero saber mais dele, tá ligado? Ah.
Hey, I didn't do anything. It ain't me.
All right. Perhaps the poor drunk just confused you with someone else.
Shut off, mister. You ain't got no clue what's going on here. Bastard was a soldier in the war, so now he's got the right to shoot me.
It's true. I'm not familiar with this part of town. Perhaps you could help me.
I said sod off. Go find yourself another guide.
Mano, eu quero te dar uma costa, tá? Aí eu quero.
Goodbye, young man.
Fica aí, tiozinho. Eu vou voltar aqui, tá? Mano, o cara tava aqui, velho. Tu mesmo. Eita. Mano, tem um monte de gente pra mim. Nossa, vou pegar todo mundo, vou levar tudo pra vala.
Shooting a boy in the middle of the street. Not the best thing to do, wouldn't you say?
What? You saw what happened?
Nossa, mano, tu vai ver. Tu tá na minha vala, meu querido. Tu tá na minha vala, tu.
I'd like to ask you a few questions.
Esse vai, esse vai.
You promised
Todo mundo vai, né?
your gun side.
No. Look, I'm not a violent man.
Ah, fica quieto aí, cara.
Palmer, doctor. And no one can help me. Not even you.
Check-in. 290.
Do you know Nurse Dorothy Crane from the Pembroke Hospital? Have you heard anything?
It's funny, I've been searching for her too. I need some pills. But the woman is a phantom, if you ask me.
Really? And why is that?
Word is she ain't real. She's a cover for some doctor who runs an illegal dispensary for migrants.
Eu consigo matar ele. Sigo. Ah, que palha, mano. Não consigo, velho. Quero nem falar com eles, tipo, saber tudo deles, mano. Já tem uma mulher ali.
Good evening, Benjamin.
I'm afraid
Tá.
What can you tell me about this place?
nothing to say, really. This is where I used to live, and this is where I live now.
You don't have anywhere to go. No family that would welcome you.
Not since the death of my wife, Albert's mother. She was sick, you see. Long before the flu and all this shit.
Tá, mano. Como que eu posso me poder matar os caras?
Wife, a home, and a job. I even used to have a name. Now I'm just Ben. Ben the Tramp.
Perhaps you could focus.
Vou conversar tudo com ele, vai que tem que conversar com os mano bro pra poder liberar.
Son just stole my pills. Everything's coming up roses.
Não consigo, cara. Não consigo, mano, matar. Eu já perguntei, né? Tá. Quantos pessoais? Aqui.
Whatever the boy did, I'm sure he didn't deserve a public execution.
Tem que saber, né, mano?
I didn't want to hit him. It's just that I'm sick in the head, you see, and the boy just faked me last nerve.
Ah, tem que descobrir coisas.
Benjamin, it was the war, wasn't it?
Ah, agora entendi. É um CSI, velho.
From
Só que eu sou vampiro.
to another.
The doctors called me a liar, a coward. put me in a straitjacket, locked me up. Finally, they sent me back to the front lines with a handful of tablets.
Ah, tô nem aí, velho. Só vou falar qualquer coisa. Quero o sangue dele.
I've seen a few cases like yours. This is nothing you should be ashamed of, Benjamin. And it's perfectly natural in your situation.
Not ashamed. I just need my pills. Peace and quiet.
Quer paz?
That's all.
Quer paz? Vamos ver se dá pra me dar um... Amor de ter. Ainda não, que pare. Jorge, tua, tá? Cadê o outro pongó?
Another drunk arsehole littering the
How are you?
I'm not your...
Do you know Nurse Dorothy Crane from the Pembroke Hospital? If you know anything about her, I'd appreciate it.
Never heard of her. She's pretty, I'll keep an eye out.
Ah, não tem mais pista dele. Ah. É, mano. Opa. Gente, tô perdido. Cadê a tia que tava aqui? Vamos falar com a tiazinha. E aí, mulher?
Good evening, miss.
Good evening, sir. Are you interested in a miraculous cure for this unknown and deadly
Eu não.
Actually, I am.
Then you have come to the right place. The famous Swanborough cordial is all you need.
Cabelo da
to
mulher,
make
mano.
you perfect.
Style.
Oh, really? Why didn't I hear about it?
Vou mexer a câmera.
I'm Jonathan Reed, by the way. Dr.
Legal.
Jonathan Reed.
Ah, my brother has spoken of your research, sir. I'm Loretta Swanborough, and it's always a pleasure to meet a fellow healer.
Pera. Ah, mano. Mano, 1.500, velho. Como que eu consigo dar um brisket dele nela?
I'd like to see what kind of medicine you're selling.
Como que eu dou um briskedelinho nela, velho?
Tell me, who intrigues you most in White?
Palha?
The region itself is something to
Quero dar uma mordida nela.
Camellia the mute florist who gives away her flowers.
What do you think of the locals?
Most of them are afraid or desperate. They all come to me eventually for my remedy.
Is there anyone I should avoid?
Cadogan Bates, without a doubt. The bloody bastard remorselessly exploits poor migrants as soon as they get here.
Do you know Nurse Dorothy Crane from the Pembroke Hospital? I'd like to know more about her.
I don't like to talk about competition.
Competition, you say?
Never met her, but it seems she provides some sort of medical care to the poor. The whole thing has to be some sort of scam, if you ask me.
Ah. Tá, valeu, tia.
Bye, Miss Swanborough. Perhaps we'll talk again.
Ah, mano, eu queria esse 1.500 dela, velho. Vai, esse 1.500 você pode, hein? Ia me ajudar demais, velho.
What do you want? Leave me alone.
Good evening, sir. I'm Dr. Reed. I'm looking for Nurse Dorothy Crane.
There is no Dorothy Crane here. Now goodbye.
I'm afraid this
Ah, tu não quer morrer, né?
says the opposite, sir.
Really? Well, I'm afraid I'm going to close this door right now. Go bother someone else, Mr. Doctor.
To enter that house, I must discover who this man really is. Maybe I could start by observing what he's up to.
Ah. 10.000! Não, o quê? 600. Mano, eu vou matar ele. Ele eu vou. Tá, eu tenho que achar mais pessoas, né? Me descobrir quem é esse Pongó. Tá, calma, tio. Tem mais gente aqui, ó. Tudo bem? Tá.
Welcome, sir. Please take a browse of my wares.
I am Dr. Reed. I would like to ask you a few questions, if you don't mind.
Doctor? Interesting. I'm Barrett Lewis. Usually I don't have time to waste with talk, but at this hour of the night I can hardly refuse.
Mano, 2.000, velho. Como eu mato esses caras, velho?
How is business around here?
Business?
Mano, precisa de sangue, cara.
Between this racket, theft, and customers getting scared, I'm losing money every day.
I see. Sounds like you blame someone in particular for your situation.
It's no secret Joe Peterson spends his time harassing merchants. But with me, he's trying to put me out of business once and for all.
Misericórdia, velho. Muita informação pra minha cabeça, mano.
Every day. Have you noticed anything out of the ordinary recently?
What you mean besides the epidemic, the war, and all the usual crap? As long as I can remember, this part of town has been a bottomless pit, and no sign of the bottom yet.
Violence is increasing in the borough.
Yeah. A few nights ago, some blokes jumped me. Came out of one of the condemned workshops. Fever, madness, something like that.
Where did this happen? Why did you go there?
In the closed workshops nearby. I worked there as an apprentice in better days. Now I only go to find trinkets or tools. Too bad I was mugged, though. There was good money in that little box of loot I lost.
Have you been hurt?
No, but that's only because I ran like hell. Those men were raving lunatics, I tell you. Not even able to speak anymore, just screaming.
Have you heard of a nurse called Dorothy Crane?
Nurse Crane? So the bitch really is a nurse, then? Always thought she was just some crafty foreigner, that one.
Yes, she's a nurse.
Procurada?
Quite a good one.
Ninguém gosta dela, né, mano? Praticamente.
Notoriety.
Dorothy Crane ain't even a real name. Something like Dorothea Craniu. Something like that. Came to England fleeing the war, I was told.
That doesn't explain why she irritates you so much.
Your precious Nurse Crane gives away...
Eu só quero... Como que eu consigo matar? Eu só quero sangue desse cara, velho.
I offered to sell it for a fair cut, but no. Miss Crane wanted to play the quiet saint.
Ó, tô descobrindo, tô descobrindo, tô descobrindo. Por que eu não consigo? Ah, nível 4.
Goodbye for now, Mr. Lewis.
Eu tô no nível 1 passando fome, velho. Ah, agora tá entendido agora.
Never have taken up my father's business.
Hackeado? Me...
Excuse me, sir. I have a few questions for you.
Another journalist?
Eu, hein?
I didn't answer the first one, so piss off.
I'm not a
Tu vai,
journalist,
tá?
I'm a doctor.
A doctor you
Me tratou mal já pra vala, hein?
quite a rare breed in this part of town.
Really? But still, here I am. Dr. Jonathan Reed.
Ah, se eu dispor nada, eu vou te matar.
Decent to some, but Colossus joke to most. And I don't remember asking for your service, sir.
Parte.
Can I offer you my medical expertise, Mr. Peterson?
Keep your medicines for others.
Nossa, mano. Nossa.
There is a thin line between pride and stupidity, sir.
Tu vai, tá?
Take this medical.
Todo mundo vai, mano. Essa é a real. Todo mundo vai pra vala.
Right. I'll take it then. It's not like I don't appreciate the gesture.
Eu tive que fazer isso pra descobrir, né, cara? Senão não ia falar nada. Esse pongó do mato.
She's a colleague of mine and is supposed used to live around here?
Dorothy Crane. Yeah, I know her. One of the few good souls who dare to help the sick around here.
Could you please tell me more about her?
She's a nice girl. Tries to help the migrants. I offered to give her a hand, but she said my reputation would attract too much attention.
How did you become the local bully everyone is afraid of, Joe?
There's no
Eu acho que as perguntas o Zenga tem que fazer, velho. Que as perguntas do Zenga eu descubro coisa, eu acho. Eu não preciso ficar sabendo da história toda, tá ligado?
A job?
Aí adianta minha vida já.
For someone else.
I got enlisted by the Wet Boot Boys, a gang from the docks. I'm their muscle for their dirty work.
Ó, nossa, safado.
You are a criminal who endorses criminal activity. The least you could do is stop hiding behind this pretense.
I don't care what you think, sir. I do what I have to do for my own reasons, and that's that.
I'm not sure Mr. Lewis would agree with your by all means necessary philosophy, sir.
Oh, do you really think he's the poor victim here? Barrett can be as sneaky as anyone. Long ago, I even called the bastard my best friend.
Tá, eu acho que é isso, né?
According to you,
Eu acho que é a azulzinha que indica
why is that?
as pistas.
Familiar with this neighborhood, are you? I guess your fancy colleagues are too afraid of being stabbed in the back.
This part of town does have quite a reputation. Would you say it's justified?
Totally. Look at me, for instance. I always look my opponent in the eye before knocking him out.
Eu só te... Nossa, mano, eu vou querer... Nossa, mano.
Goodbye, Mr. Peterson.
Pera aí.
You again?
Tá. Nossa, é esse cara que o cara leva pra vala, mano. Tá bem, meu querido?
Forgive my interruption.
Do not apologize, my son. Father Tobias Whitaker is always happy to teach mortals about the incoming Armageddon.
I am Dr. Jonathan Reed, and I just have a few questions.
A scientist? You are much more lost than I thought, my son.
Que?
Have you any friends? Any family left in these terrible times?
No. But I have a disciple I see as my son. He is so devoted. I sent him to preach the good word in the heart of this corrupted city.
Where did you send him?
I sent Samuel to the Stonebridge Cemetery, where the pestilence and evil grows night after night.
Tá morto, né?
You sent him on some preaching crusade during the epidemic.
As a true believer, Samuel will fear no evil while he walks through the valley of the shadow of death.
É, mas também não pode abusar da sorte, né, cara? Precisa de 5. Ele é quantos?
Don't you fear getting sick?
I've been touched.
Não.
I have had enough for tonight.
Ai, para aí.
Good evening, Mr.
It's fu-
Tá, o Wake vê?
Don't you fear?
Não.
I've been.
Ah, mano, esses caras com 2.000 de sangue, velho. Tem que dar uma costa neles, mano.
Nurse Dorothy Crane from the Pembroke Hospital.
Ficando louco, mano, de ver esses 2.000 de sangue não poder pegar, velho.
I like the liberal ideas of nurses, but I especially abhor that nurse Crane you mentioned.
Why do you hate Nurse Crane more than other nurses?
Before coming to London, she was a member of the communist resistance in her country. That's what happens when you let a woman get involved in politics.
Preconceituoso.
So you're not exactly a fan of Florence Nightingale's work. But nurses are essential for modern healthcare.
Nuns should be the only women allowed to take care of male patients. It's obvious only they have the necessary moral fiber.
What do you mean when you say
Eu vou ter que falar pra todo mundo, cara.
than you thought?
All scientists are entangled in a world of causes and consequences, and most of them can't see the plain truth.
Quite a judgmental opinion, if you ask me. But what do I know? Blinded by science as I am.
But you are seeking answers, aren't you? Answers about
O cara tá falando morrendo, velho. Tá rolando...
the city.
Tá rolando pra dentro, velho.
Answers
Para.
about the hidden truth.
I am. But the answers I seek are based on facts, not superstition. What do you mean when you say that I am more lost than you thought?
All scientists are entangled in a world of causes and consequences, and most of them can't see the plain truth.
Quite a judgmental opinion, if you ask me. But what do I know? Blinded by science as I am.
But you are seeking answers, aren't you? Answers about the Armageddon about to strike the city. Answers about the hidden truth.
Well, I suppose I can spare a few minutes listening to your so-called truth.
As a doctor, you must be aware of the decimating epidemic. But let me tell you that this so-called Spanish flu is just the beginning of the end.
What do you mean?
Será que eu
It's finally revealing itself, corrupting the flesh and the heart of
vou me
man.
curar no final do jogo?
With my own eyes I have seen them, those minions from the abyss.
Really? And what would be your answer to this biblical threat?
We must fight the disease before this legion outnumbers us. But not with scalpels and microscopes. No,
What is left then?
cleansing fire.
Nossa, ele quer tacar fogo na cidade, velho.
What exactly is your plan concerning the
Não, né? Doido.
God will recognize his own. More than once this city has risen from the ashes, hardened and purified by the flames.
Fire is just the instinctive answer of a caveman facing something he does not understand. This is the 20th century.
Your lack of faith is predictable. But my task is to convince rational minds like yours to see the light. This is God's will.
You're mad and dangerous. You're nothing but a soulless butcher. A small-time
Mano do céu, velho.
the Savonarola of Whitechapel.
My son, if you think salvation is
Vou ter que eliminar esse cara, velho.
go listen to the lies of that pompous fool, Joseph.
Joseph, a fool.
Vicar Larrabee of St. Mary's Church. While he continues preaching his fraudulent redemption, more and more people die in the streets.
What do you mean when you say that I am more lost than you thought?
All scientists are entangled in a world of causes and consequences, and most of them can't see the plain truth.
Quite a judgmental opinion, if you ask me. But what do I know? Blinded by science as I am.
But you are seeking answers, aren't you? Answers about the Armageddon about to strike the city. Answers about the hidden truth.
Well,
Hey.
what do you...
The be
I have heard...
Tá. Mano. $13.000, velho. Ah, mano, eu vou matar todo mundo, cara.
The walls of your home will not protect you.
Acho que quer ter o... tacar fogo na cidade.
Most of them don't speak English.
Falei contigo, ó.
To interview them. Excuse me, sir. Are you familiar with this part of town? Name's Clayton Darby, reporter.
Sorry, I'm new to Whitechapel. But perhaps you could help me since you're a journalist. My name is Jonathan Reed.
Dr. Reed, the famous surgeon. I'll gladly help if I'm able, sir.
Cara, o cara é meu fã, velho.
Why are the newspapers keeping silent about the Spanish influenza? It's as though none of you care.
There's a war going on. People shouldn't be demoralized by news of deadly diseases.
It's a disgrace. People are left to die alone. no one is properly informed of the risks.
These are bad times indeed. So much for the glorious British Empire.
What is a journalist doing in this borough after sunset?
He goes where none of his colleagues would dare to go, to inform the country.
So you risk your life to reveal the truth. I saw many reporters do the same during the war.
Whitechapel is the crucible of so many untold stories and tragedies. I want people to know them.
That's quite honorable of you. But
Mano, tem que começar a matar mais gente, cara, meu poderzinho. Vou pegar esses caras de 2000 de sangue. É o F? Quase 2000, cara.
have you any idea of the danger you face in these streets at night?
I've had to run and hide more than once from frenzied mobs incensed by the fever. Do you think the flu is really responsible for this, Doctor?
I'm convinced there is more at work here than a simple epidemic.
Really? To be honest, I could say the same. Some of the sick I saw or heard of. My God, what happened to them?
Acho que é isso, né? A investigação não tem nada aí. Não tem nada. Valeu, meu querido.
Bye, Mr. Darby. Farewell.
Vai a gente perder por aí? Vamos ir aqui.
Good evening, miss. I'm Dr. Reed. I'd like to ask you a few questions. I know what you're thinking.
Ah,
A tall, strange
me deixou no vácuo.
in the street at night. It reeks of the penny dreadfuls. But I mean you no harm, truly.
Mexendo no vácuo? Nível 5.
You don't seem to need my medical attention for now.
2000, cara. 2000.
I know you understand what
Cara, estão tipo os caras aqui. Calma, vou fazer um teste, vamos fazer um teste, ver se eu consigo fazer mais sangue. Vamos lá, pelo amor de Deus.
Very well. Goodbye then.
Pelo amor de Deus, mano. Pelo amor de Deus, mano. Pelo amor de Deus, velho. Mulher doida. Sabe falar? Opa! Agora ela vai falar. Calma, deixa eu ver esse cara aqui.
Good evening.
Tá, é o F, né? Tá, se eu clicar
Do
aí.
you need assistance?
That would be nice of you, Doctor. Who knows what I may have caught you in my investigation.
Ah, eu faço... Ah! Nossa, se eu fazer isso... Deus. Vou ter que começar a fazer remédio, cara. Se eu fazer o remédio, o poder dele... a vida dele vai aparecer aqui, ó. Nossa, não. Não é agora.
I will see you.
Nossa, mano, é agora, velho. Eu vou começar a fazer um monte de remédio. Começar a distribuir pra todo mundo. Depois eu vou lá e mato todo mundo. Essa é a play. E eu fico forte. Aqui, ó.
Melia, I know you were.
Ah, safada.
Please tell me
Fala agora.
the secret dispenser.
Fala.
A stubborn
Nossa, eu vou... Não, não, esse aí tá na minha mira também.
Nurse Crane.
Essa vai pra vala também.
Rescue.
Desculpa, gente. Essa vai pra vala. Não, essa vai pra vala.
Very well.
Todo mundo vai pra vala, mano. Ninguém vai se safar, mano. Tem mais gente? Eu falei contigo, tia. Eu falei qual, né?
Don't be shy, handsome. What can Christina do for you?
I'm not looking for what you're selling.
Ih, tá me querendo, hein?
But I'd like to ask you a few questions, if I may. I'm a doctor, Dr. Reed.
All right then, but be quick. Though I usually get paid when I open my mouth.
Tem uma coisa aqui. Eu tenho que dizer aqui, ó.
Clayton Darby claims he will expose the crisis in Whitechapel to all of London. Do you believe him?
I believe Clayton's
Mano do céu, mano. Minha cabeça tá explodindo já, velho.
until he finally leaves Whitechapel to start another fight somewhere else.
Muita informação, mano.
Why this skepticism?
How can you speak about starvation if you've never been hungry? Or about poverty? Or anything else you have never suffered from?
Verdade, isso que ela falou.
I've seen your type come here to get a good fuck in a cheap room or a dark alley before going back to their fancy houses in the West End.
Christina, have you been examined? The epidemic is spreading fast in London, and you could be exposed, or expose others.
I don't like doctors or hospitals, but I don't like you asking questions.
You can put your own life in danger, that's your decision. But
Cara preocupado com o cara, se fosse eu.
if you're contaminated, you will put them in danger too.
And you think that would worry me? If you knew the men I deal with, their health would not be what you'd worry about.
Considering your line of work, I assure you it is only a matter of time before you have health issues.
If it is going to happen, it will happen. Right now, I need money. That's what's important.
Todo mundo quer dinheiro, né?
Do you know Nurse Dorothy Crane from the Pembroke Hospital? Anything you can tell me about her would be helpful.
I don't know her, but I know her name is Dorothea Crasionescu. She came from Romania like me and many others.
You seem to respect her.
Dorothea helps the sick people of Whitechapel. Everyone should respect that.
Goodbye, miss.
Tá bem, rapidão.
Good evening.
Shane,
Vamos excluir. Ah, daqui, ó.
Tell me about yourself.
are you joking with me? People don't usually come to see me for conversation.
I have no interest in your work. I am, however, curious as to what led you
Eita,
to
preula.
this career.
Short story. The war, exile, and England. This country is not especially welcoming. I've been refused many jobs because of where I am from. I had few options left.
I always thought
Ela
I
que
was
é.
lost,
Cada um, né, mano? Cada um faz o que quiser com o seu corpo, né, cara?
but now I know we don't always have control over our lives. I don't judge you.
You know, this money is not only for me. I have good reasons to need this money quickly. But it is not your concern, Doctor.
Ok, tia.
Goodbye, miss.
Olha aí, tia. Tá, descobriu uma coisa nesse cara aqui? Deixa eu ver.
You again?
Deixa eu ver aqui.
I offer you.
The name?
Olha, tá bem, hein? Ele tá bem, hein? Eu posso mandar ele pra Valen, só que eu tenho...
I offer you my
The name?
Só que eu tenho que ter o poder...
Hello, young man. I'm Dr. Reed, and I would like to ask you a few questions. May I enter, please?
Sorry, no, sir. My father does not like people entering our house, you see.
Your father is worried about you, boy. He asked me to look for you.
So my father actually worries about me then? Okay then. Come on in. I'm Harry, by the
O que
way.
tá acontecendo, velho?
Even my dreams are soaked with gloom.
Ai, minha cabeça tá... Ei, tiozão, passar a mão aqui no todos os loot, na tua casa, tá? Calma aí, meu querido. Hey.
So, may I ask you a few questions?
I'm not bothered. What could be worse?
Leopold, hein? Eu acho que eu vou esperar, mano, pra juntar mais. Não vou... Não vou matar ele.
Father and Mr. Lewis used to be good friends. What happened, Harry?
I was young then. I don't remember Mr. Lewis ever coming back again after my mother died. Or was it after my father?
Ah, mano, na moral, cara, mas pior que se eu matar os caras vai ficar ruim as situações, né?
Have you tried speaking to Mr. Lewis about it?
I don't go out often, but yes. And he scolded me and told me to leave him alone. I guess my father frightens him too much.
But you are not responsible for your father's actions.
Am I not? Dad always says that he joined that gang for my safety. So if I wasn't born, people wouldn't be worrying about Colossus Joe.
Do you know Nurse Dorothy Crane from the Pembroke Hospital?
Obrigado.
I'd like to know more about her.
Yes, I know her. She came here to examine me when I was very sick. She said I should go out more.
How do you feel?
I'm fine. I mean, it's not easy every day, but I'm fine. I'm just tired of being sick all the time. If only I could be tough like... Well, you know.
Speaking of which, what can you tell me about your father?
My father is an idiot who makes idiot things. That's all I have to say.
Forgive my bluntness, young man, but you don't seem happy living in Whitechapel.
Why should I? I never wanted to come here in the first place. It was my father's decision. And look around you. Does this look like a nice place to live?
This place is awful, I agree. But does that not mean your situation can only improve?
That's exactly what my father says. Harry, you should be grateful for what you've got. I wasn't even consulted when we moved here.
If life here is so terrible for you, why don't you just leave this place? Have you ever spoken to your father about it?
I don't go outside. It terrifies me so. I went outside once without my father noticing and I saw terrible things. Bloody and frightening things.
So that's why you stay at home all day? For fear of the epidemic?
I'm not afraid of disease or death, Dr. Reed. It's the living I'm afraid of.
Ué?
Goodbye, young man. Take care of yourself.
Is there only pain and suffering in this world?
Cara, mano. Calma.
Fancy buying something, sir?
You never...
Ah, já falei com esse cara aqui, né? Ah, aqui, ó.
Peterson. He's the villain here, isn't he? But you seem to know each other.
I've known Joe for years. I saw him box once or twice. He was a friend then. But these days, he's just another thug.
What can you tell me about Mr. Peterson? Besides his behavior toward you, obviously.
Colossus Joe was a decent boxer, good one even. But after his wife passed away, he found every excuse to stop training. Just wanted to pick fights with everyone.
It's never easy to find a new path in life, especially after the loss of a loved one. But crime is certainly not the best option.
We've all had some rough times, ain't we? But most of us don't use our fists to see us through.
And no one has ever stood up to this thug.
Nobody would be fool enough to stand against a wet boot boy.
What do you know of Harry Peterson? The boy seems so fragile.
Mano, o que tá acontecendo, velho?
Harry's a good boy, but he spends most of his time complaining. He's had it tough, all right, but he needs to grow a pair.
What troubles him exactly?
Well, despite being his father's son, almost everything, I think. He never wanted to come to Whitechapel in the first place. Hates this place more than most of us.
Goodbye.
Quem é esse?
You again?
Ah, tá.
Harry doesn't seem happy living in Whitechapel. Why did you make him come here?
I've always put my son's interests above everything else, whatever he may think. Our house is small but affordable. The walls are thin, but the door is solid.
You really love your son, don't you, Mr. Peterson?
He's my pride and joy. Even if he hates me for the choices I make and pushes me buttons more than he should.
Since the criminal nature of your job means you could be arrested, are you not afraid of what would happen to your boy if you were?
No one will ever take my son away from me. If that ever occurred, I'd hunt the bastard down and rip off his head with my bare hands.
Caraca, acho que é assim fácil.
Any regrets?
Only one. Not to have my beloved wife by my side. She died when Harry was little. My sweet Jane. She gave the boy confidence.
Goodbye, Mr.
Cadê? É aqui?
There's no one in. There's nobody here.
É.
Goody.
Goodbye, Miss.
Mano. Tô perdido.
Joe, please.
Vamos gente pra cá então, né? Eu tô perdido, gente. Tá, eu tenho que vir.
No one's there.
Calma lá. Meu Deus, nem sei onde que eu tô indo, gente.
It's locked.
Mano, calma aí. Tá, foi aqui que tudo começou, né?
I'm not your...
Deixa eu ver.
Do you need us?
Please.
O cara precisa dizer aqui, ó.
I will see.
I won't end up another drunk arsehole littering the streets.
Cara, acho que eu posso matar ele.
How are
I'm not your...
Cara, eu acho que eu posso matar ele, velho. Não, calma, eu quero primeiro fazer remédio. Onde que tem aqui? Pra cá? Cadê o... Onde que é? Calma. Outra parte de gente. Meu Deus, onde que eu me enfiar? Só quero fazer os remédios. Aqui é meu esconderijo. Ah. Ah, não consigo fazer. Consigo. Faz um desse. Faz 3 desse. E bora fazer o teste. Tá, eu quero upar. Cura. Eu devia ter rene... Cancelei, boa. Eu vou resetar tudo, vou focar só nas... Tá, vamos lá. Essa aqui compensa. Eu me auto me curo. E eu gostei dessa. 100. 1k. E 1k. Cara, eu gostei mais dessa aqui, ó. Tá. Agora... Daqui, whatever. Tá, agora eu vou upar a vida. Deixar tudo together. Vou colocar o vigor aqui. Não tenho que aumentar vigor. Mano, tem nenhum... Tem que aumentar vigor, não. Tá, 2, 2, 2, 2, 2, 2, tá. A mordida. A cura na mordida. Minha vida. Deu. Vamos bem. Ah, velho, eu vou levar todo mundo pra vala, mano. Não vai mais ter ninguém nessa cidade pra contar história. Vou achar aquele primeiro carinha, mano. Vamos ver. Ah, tu levantou, cara? Tá. Vou dar um remédio pra ele.
I'm not your... Do you need assist, please? There you go. Let's hope nobody steals it from you.
Very funny.
F. Ó, ó, ó. 950 dá pra mandar o mano Cleitinho. E por que? Esse sangue pra fazer o quê? Pensei esse sangue, mano. Acho que tem que seguir pra levar pra um lugar secreto, tá ligado? Ah. Sangue, 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 sangue. Sou vampiro, cara. Preciso de sangue.
Not now. Not me, please.
Ah, sai, saio. Sai, saio. Sai, sai, olha lá. Olha lá, mano. 1.200 de sangue, velho. Tô nem aí, mano, por restrito. Eles que lute depois. Upei? Upei? Vamos que upa. É o próximo.
Good evening, I'm afraid.
Ah, tá.
Your suspicions concerning Albert were legit.
Nós tem que primeiro descobrir o cara pra depois, ó.
Sure he was guilty when you...
Chulapa.
Tell me the truth, Benjamin.
Mano, tô gostando muito desse joguinho, velho.
I just went mad without realizing what I was doing.
Nossa, o boneco vai ficar on fire, velho. Isso é nossa passiva.
Almost shot him.
You had better speak to Albert. You need to clear the air. He has to understand what you endured, and you must listen to him talk about his pain.
I'm afraid it's too late. I pointed a gun at him for the sake of a few pills.
Did you know of your son's plans to join the Wet Boot Boys gang?
Barely survived the war, just to come back and see me wife die of the flu, and my son turn into a petty thug.
Protect your son, Benjamin. Don't you see? Whatever your quarrels, his salvation could be
Cara,
yours.
According to him, everything's my fault. We've nothing left
precisa de sangue, né?
to save.
Tá, é o F. Nossa, mano. Tá, tu se escapou, tá? Tu se escapou, tá? Porque eu não tenho remédio pra te doar. Porque eu não vou pegar. Eu vou pegar os caras full, mano. Escapou, sério.
I will return later.
Eu não ganhei chave, hein?
Nobody at home.
Ah.
I cannot enter.
É daqui que eu vim, né? O maluco pede remédio que eu nem aprendi ainda a fazer, velho. Cara, esse é o melhor poder, velho. Eu vou focar nas minhas passivas. Eu posso pôr meu machado? Ah, não, mano. Mas eu vou ir, porque eu sou doido. Tô aqui de longe, ó, ó. Vou pegar pra upar ela é 2000, né, mano? Ai! Essa pra upar é 2000, velho. Não consigo upar passiva, velho. A minha habilidade ainda. Vou jogar full passiva. Falei. Quanto XP? Mano, eu mato esse bicho dá 5 de XP, velho. Pelo amor de Deus, mano. Nem compensa matar, mano. Misericórdia, que é isso? Mano, eu vou morrer, velho. O carinha que tá com... Ó. Mano. Ah, velho, na hora que eu mordeu o cara, mano. Papel. Ai. Eu vou gastar 2000 de poder pra passar minha habilidade, velho. Deus, cara. Ah, tá me zoando aqui. Mano. A gente vai ter que matar o carinha mesmo assim, mano. Vou matar o cara. Cara, mas eu vou... Cara, investigação... Cara, vai investigar... Aqui. Tinha esquecido dessa. Ah, safado.
Strange man was at the door with the pass for our medical facility. I refused him entry.
Darius, how could you know he didn't need our help?
His clothes were too finely tailored to be from Whitechapel.
Perhaps just a friend of that stray poet who is always about.
Mano, eu matei ela, mano. Ela dá 2.000, cara.
No, not at the same
Ah, não, tem que upar meu poder, né?
I suspect some machination from that journalist.
Clayton Darby. Is he still asking questions?
Yes. I saw him drifting around St. Mary's Church. I swear he is tracking me just downwind.
It's locked. I must talk to that journalist or the poet. They must know about Darius. Nearby the church, they just...
Na verdade, eu quero fazer uma coisa, mano, aqui primeiro. Tu. Ué, tá, ele tem quanto de poder? 600, vai. Mas é melhor que nada, mano.
I'm not afraid anymore. I died in this trench a long time ago.
Dá 2.000. Bora. Bora. Tá, agora eu tenho que ir em quem? Não, tô nem pro distrito, mano. Olha aqui. Blaack. Onde que era a casa do gurizinho, mano? E tu? F. R. Tá, olha 3. Olha 3. E tu? F. E R. 4. Mano, como que upa esse bagulho, cara? Você tem até X pessoas?
Good evening. I heard you're investigating an underground medical dispensary in Whitechapel. What do you know about it?
Not much, I'm afraid. They are wary of strangers, and I'm not really an acquaintance of theirs. Why do you care?
I'm afraid one of the nurses from the Pembroke Hospital may be involved with unsavory activities.
Ah, could it be Dorothy Crane?
Without a doubt, you are a damn fine journalist, Mr. Darby. What do you know of her accomplice?
Ah, será que eu posso matar ou não, velho?
Much about the man. He's very cautious. Never goes out. Doesn't seem to have any friends or family.
He never goes out?
No. A few days ago, he unexpectedly did. I followed him, but it was just a ruse to keep...
Eu tô perdido, gente.
Really? How do you know?
He went to the nearest mailbox, but just before posting his letter, he ripped it up and threw it away.
He has no relatives at all?
No, except for that strange man, a poet named Richard Nethercott, who sometimes comes by. Darius would never let him in.
Where can I find this Mr. Nethercott?
He spends most of his time lurking around Whitechapel, talking to himself or declaring verses. These days, you can usually find him behind the church.
Tá. Tá, ele... Ele tá como?
Do you need a
That would be no.
F. Tu precisa de 3, não?
I will. Goodbye. Good evening.
It's fine.
Tá, mano, eu quero upar, velho, pra mim poder... É que segura também. Parece 1000 pontos, velho. Não, mandaram encontrar alguém aqui atrás da igreja, velho.
Good evening, sir. I'm Dr. Reed. I would like to ask you a few questions.
Please be my guest. Although I may not be the best informant regarding this part of town, my words speak about that which the eyes cannot see.
Really? Are you an artist of some kind?
I'm a poet, sir. Richard Nethercott, at your service.
May I ask you a few questions about the district?
Extraordinary part of town, is it not? I'll be glad to help you, if I can.
What can you tell me about an old man called Darius?
Darius Petrescu? Yes, I know him. At first, I thought he was only a small publisher. I invited him to publish my work, but his reaction was pretty clear.
Not interested in your talent?
Darius is an old political activist who takes delight in printing tracts and lampoons. Those communist activities only require mediocre writing skills.
I'm looking for Dorothy Crane, a nurse who lives in this vicinity.
Dorothy Crane. Oh, I love the name. The Crane of Whitechapel. Sounds very mysterious. But, sorry, no, never heard of her.
Did you know the Mute Florist is a member of a secret society?
No, I didn't. But I thank you for this information, sir. For it only enriches the mystery surrounding the precious camellia.
Are you not curious? Is there not more you wish to know?
That girl has not an ounce of malice in her. Whatever she may be hiding, it's certain to be for the benefit of most, if not all.
I fear you are a hopeless romantic, Mr. Nethercott.
Guilty as charged, Dr. Reed.
Tá, tinha uma coisa aqui, mano. Ele, deixa eu ver. Tá, e ele precisa de 3. Ah, só que você colocou aquilo ali, mano. Acho que é matando os pessoal mesmo.
The place is not beautiful per se, but how to explain it? Stirring and challenging.
In what way, exactly?
The struggle by gaslight, the barren smiles and the added hunger under the rain.
If you say so.
Such vibrant antagonism and vivid paradox, the stripped humanity raged across each street.
Vivid, of course, yes. And what about the poignant distress?
Oh yes, the poignant distress. You see what I mean, don't you? That's what I want to write about, and that's what Whitechapel is made of.
Do you not think it a little morbid?
On the contrary, sir. Whitechapel is full of life, full of beauty. Just like my dear dear muse, the wonderful Camellia.
What can you tell me about Camellia?
Not much, and that's the beauty of it. She can't speak, you know. She's a locked mystery who exhales kindness and sweetness.
And have you ever tried to learn more about her?
E ele é apaixonado nela.
Where she lives, how she survives, whom she may know.
Maybe I prefer she remains an enigma. Reality can be so dull, don't you think?
Perhaps you're just afraid to find out the truth about your muse.
One day, perhaps, I'll ask her to come with me. But will she still be my wild flower of Whitechapel if she moves uptown?
I'll leave you alone.
Ele tá apaixonado, mano, nela. Tá. Vem cá, tia. Vamos resolver essa parada.
Tell me about Richard Nethercott. I understand he is quite fond of you, Camellia.
Não vai falar nada.
Very well.
Nossa, mano, vou matar essa. Nossa, mano, vou. Essa guria vai, tá? Ela vai, mano. Quero nem saber. Queria saber onde que... Pera aí, onde que tá o... Tá, essa tiazinha aqui, deixa eu ver.
Shane.
Sobre algo dela, não. Tá. Ela é costa também, então... Vou sair. Tinha o carinha, mano. Tinha mais gente que... Tá, onde que tá o... Onde que tá o carinha, o jornalista, mano? Pior que eu não lembro então o jornalista, mano. Mano, esse poder é muito bom, velho. Tá, ele vai estar o carinha de novo, que eu não quero matar. Ah, o Bacon em silêncio pra pegar os... Ah, tá. Opa!
Good evening, Harry.
Sure. Is there only pain and suffering in this world?
So,
I'm not bothered.
do you need...
Yes, I do.
You'll
Mais um lugar pra vala. XP, mano. XP em primeiro lugar, velho.
Death is so cold. I hoped it would be more
Caraca, eu tô ganhando uma arminha top, hein?
You again?
Why is your relationship with your son so difficult?
Haha, teu filho é morto. Ah, gente, desculpa, gente. Eu preciso de sangue. Se eu não tiver sangue, eu vou passar aperto nas missões, né?
If you used your strength to do good, perhaps Harry wouldn't feel that way about you.
How dare you tell me what I should or shouldn't do with my boy? Who the fuck are you to interfere like that?
Você é um péssimo pai.
Father who scares his son and his
Quero
neighbors,
treta.
Mr. Peterson.
I don't think I like your attitude, sir.
Se tiver 2 finais, eu já tô no final ruim, confirmados.
Say so much.
100% confirmado que eu tô no final ruim.
I'd like to see you try, Colossus Joe. In the meantime, are you sure I can't be of any help to your son? I am a doctor, remember?
Never. Harry's complicated. Fragile, you could say. Doesn't mingle with strangers. Now leave us alone.
Tá. Mano, eu tenho que achar um jeito de papar 3, velho.
Goodbye.
Tem que achar um jeito de papar 3, mano. Vou fazer um teste. Se eu clicar em quê? O jogo não fala nada, é?
Goodbye, Mr.
Tá. É tu mesmo que eu quero.
Good evening.
Tá, encontra. Vamos lá na casa. Bora fazer a missão agora. Quase 3.000 de sangue. Não sei porque manda vir aqui pra cima se não tem nada. Quanto a caixa de correio?
The content of Darius' letter to his children could give me more leverage to enter. Darius is a bit less of a mystery now.
Cagada.
It should not be that difficult to incite him to let me in.
Com 3.000, velho, de sangue, mano. Que alegria. Peraí. Ele tá morto, tadinho. Vamos resolver essa parada.
Mr. Petrescu, just 1 minute, please.
You again? Go away.
Sir, wait. Stop this nonsense. I know Nurse Crane is here. Shall we speak man to man, you and I?
All right. Speak up.
Don't you see we're on the same side? We fight to help the poor, sick, and abandoned.
I'm nothing like you, Mr. Doctor.
Yes, you are. You too believe in providing medical care without charge. You know what we have to sacrifice to make the world.
Mano, eu quero muito o sangue desse cara aí, velho. 2.000 de sangue, mano. Vou ficar com 5.000, nossa.
All right, I'll let you see Dorothea. Don't make me regret this, though.
Eu confio no vampiro. Olha, cara. O Luciano tá a casa.
It's locked, all right. It's locked.
Ah, vai ter que pegar a chave dele. Nossa, se eu tenho que matar ele, eu vou ficar tão feliz. Bora.
you want to talk to Dorothea, you must go across the courtyard and take the stairs.
We've not been formally introduced. May I ask your name and occupation, sir?
I am Darius Petrescu. I'm here to keep snitches and spies away from Dorothea.
Ah, velho, se eu conseguir matar ele, velho, vai ser um sucesso pra minha gameplay. Ah, precisa de nível 2, velho.
I know you fought for your country.
Nível 2, mano.
Darius, tell me more about it.
I know my days are numbered, and I know I won't see my homeland again. But I fought for Romania all my life, and I will until my last breath.
But Romania escaped the grasp of the Austro-Hungarian Empire. It's a free country again.
But it's not the country I fought for. My homeland is not appeased, Doctor. But I still see a dark future ahead for my people.
How did you meet Nurse Crane, Darius? Why does she trust you?
I'm her oldest friend in England. Dorothea and I share many ideas about this country and about the country we left.
You mean occupied Romania, don't you? Even if not directly, I fought against your enemies.
Really? Then perhaps you have more in common with Dorothea than meets the eye, Dr. Reed.
Eu quero saber como que eu aumento meu poder.
Children or grandchildren?
Who knows? I have abandoned my people for so long, they might as well be dead. As dead as I am for them, I suppose.
Don't be embarrassed, sir. If you must know, my own father disappeared many years ago, and I forgave him.
It's quite awkward to talk about our families like this, but thank you, Dr. Reed. I appreciate your trust.
Eu soube como muito meio feitiçar, mano.
Goodbye.
Pra destrancar, né? As portas, né? É, mano, tô luteando tudo, velho. Ninguém viu nada. Ah, mentira, vou ter.
What do we have here, nurse?
Patient Raz Van Vasily. High fever running on 3 days. Complaints of dizziness, muscle aches, and head pain. Diagnosed with influenza.
Treatment?
Aspirin and salicin for the fever and discomfort. Liquids for dehydration, but he's having trouble keeping even water down.
Thank you, nurse. Anything else I should know?
He did lose consciousness this morning, but he's never had convulsions like these.
Vai se transformar.
He's not convulsing, he's choking. He's not getting any air. Scalpel. Hand me that scalpel.
Ó.
What can I do, Doctor?
It's too dangerous to operate with these convulsions. Sedative, nurse. Do we have any anesthetics?
I'm sorry, Doctor. None at all.
Vai, cara. Vai. Mostra o talento.
I need to perform a tracheostomy. Short pipe. That rubber tube will do. We're going to cut a passage for air through the neck.
Yes, Doctor. He's breathing again, but he's coughing up blood.
Internal hemorrhaging. I need to make another incision into the chest cavity to drain the fluids from the lung. Prepare another tube.
Caraca, sou mágico, velho.
We've nothing to fight the infection. We need an aseptic environment.
Right then, Nurse Crane. What do you suggest we do?
I've no idea. I'm not the doctor.
Time is of the essence. We need to perform a thoracic drain.
Yes, doctor.
Ah, mano, eu gostei dela, velho. Acho que ela não vou matar. Ela não, eu vou deixar ela viva. Meu link style.
He's still bleeding, doctor. I'm losing his pulse.
The drain must have punctured the intercostal artery. There's too much blood.
Are you all right, doctor?
I can't see.
Não. Controla, cara.
Yes. I have this, nurse. Allow me to finish the procedure alone. I need the room.
I'd prefer to stay and see this through. This is my patient, doctor. I have needle and thread for stitching the wound.
Good. The stitches are holding.
Se controla, cara. Se controla.
We're losing him. We've lost his pulse. He's dying, doctor.
Cardiac massage, now.
Cardiac... What? Are you making this up as you go along?
Mano, a tia quer salvar a pessoa, mas não sabe nem o que é um bagulho cardíaco, tu. Eu sei, aquele negócio do coração, aquela tu. Olha aquela tampa o narizinho. Tu. Ela não sabe o que é isso, velho.
We've lost the pulse. He's gone, doctor.
Nurse, we did everything we could.
Truly? Everything you could. Is that how you'll report this in your log? Is this how the war went? Piling up one poor corpse beside the next?
This was not an influenza-induced seizure. I've never seen symptoms like these on the continent.
Neither have I.
Mano, isso não é uma gripe, é um bagulho que transforma os caras em vampirinho, velho.
No. There was something more vile in these reactions. Something primitive.
There have been numerous reports of mental breakdowns caused by the fever that accompanies the flu itself, Doctor.
Yes, but... I'd best take some samples of the blood for analysis.
Não, o cara tem o olho todo aqui vermelho e o meio branquinho. E ninguém percebe, né?
Intuition alone that led you to us. So, how might I be of service, Dr. Reed?
I've come to put an end to this insufferable blackmailing, Dorothy.
Doctor, you think your warnings scare me? I've stolen and plied, blackmailed and lied, but what else am I to do? I'm all these people have.
You've convinced me of the sincerity of your actions and their noble justifications. But all the same, blackmail is a crime, and it will stop, Nurse Crane.
So, are you going to turn me over to the authorities?
Nossa, mano. Nossa, mano. Nossa, velho. Nó. Ai, Billy, o que eu faço, mano? Se eu entregar ela, eu acho que é o certo. Mas eu posso poupar ela. Eu posso abraçar ela que eu vou ganhar o sangue dela, mano. Mano, ah, mano, eu vou pegar o sangue, cara.
Nurse Crane, there is no question that the work you've done here is extraordinary, but this dispensary is incapable of coping with the outbreak. It's only a question of days before the situation at hand will overwhelm us. I cannot allow it. It's my duty to put an end to this immediately.
I'm not ashamed. I did what was right. For in the end, I saved lives and you took them. But we had so much in common, Doctor. Don't you see that?
Upei!
It's locked.
Watch yourselves! That's gonna hurt! He's done for!
Mano, ela morrer de qualquer jeito, tadinha. Jesus! Realmente, cara. Morde! Caraca, velho, ela morre de qualquer jeito, mano. Eu tô nível 2, né?
Hello, Miss. Hello.
O que eu posso levar no nível 2, mano?
Yes.
Agora tá ficando bom o jogo, mano.
Who will assist Dorothea helping our comrades now that I die?
Nossa, 8! 9 mil de poder, gente. Não era que tinha uma coisa que não podia abrir? Cadê? Aqui. Ah, velho, tô gostando demais, cara, do joguinho. Quem é o próximo?
Good.
I'd like to.
Realmente, calma aí, eu quero pegar mais sangue. Quero pegar 2k pelo menos. Cadê os carinha? Tá aqui a casa do cara, né? Tá. Oh, mas tinha mais... Não tinha mais gente, gente. Vou me matar? Ah, tá aqui. Ele é 4.
Goodbye for now.
Quando pro nível 4 eu vou me atrás de ti, hein? E tu? Nível 3. Nossa, mano. Tá, nível 3. Quando eu chegar nível 3 eu volto aqui, mano. Nível 5. Nível 4. Nível 4 também. Nível 5. Nível 3, tá, é. Fechou então. Nível 3 eu volto aqui. Nível 16, velho. Ó. O que é lá?
Ain't safe, it ain't you!
Ei, Jesus. Morde, morde, morde. Nossa, ele... Calma aí. Nossa.
Stunned me with his faith. His crucifix. This is not good.
Mano, esse bagulho tá ficando com uns poderes loucos, mano, os caras, mano. Tá. Nossa, tô indo bem pular. Peguei o botão errado. Tô com vida. Tá, é o B que eu fico. É o B que eu fico quieto, tá? Vai dar certo. Tá. Ah, não. Nossa, na moral. Tá. Vou passar a habilidade aqui, velho, de se curar, mano. Vou ter que... Bora, volta, gente. Gente, eu tô com medo, eu tô me metendo, mano. GG? Tô preso. Tô. É, pra cá. Quando é que ele tem saída? Pra cá então. Não, descendo. É.
Human blood. Whoever left these marks did so deliberately.
Ai, Jesus. Lascou, gente. Mano, tá muito tenso aqui, velho. Tá, foi um. Muito bem. Nossa, que foi tenso, hein? Vem aqui. Ah, tá, já entrei. Não tô mais nem lembrando onde tô aqui. Mano, tô com 10 mil de poder, velho. Vou upar minha cura. Vou upar minha cura e... E... essa é a minha habilidade aqui, primeiro aqui.
The flower's dying. It needs water.
Acho que eu queria as coisas. Aqui. Bora lá. Aqui. Consigo upar? Tá. Tá. Mas será que eu uso 74, 79. Mais 12 demora pra carregar. Pera aí. Pronto, tá. Vamos upar. Aquela upada. Tá, tem 10 mil. O que que eu vou fazer? Vou upar esse. 150 de essa recompensa, mano. Recompensa. Esse compensa. Agora, 2, 3, 3, 3. 3. Eu parei também. Tá. 5 mil, cara. Tá meu vigor, né, mano? Porque o vigor é 4, 4. Agora é 1000. Vou pegar outra habilidade, mano. Pensando em pegar outra habilidade. Cara, acho que eu vou aumentar isso aqui, ó. Já que eu tô upando. Já que eu vou usar a pistola. Faz aqui. Acho que eu vou pegar. Esse soco aqui. Aumentar meu vigor, mano. Vai o vigor. Nossa, agora eu tô forte, hein? Agora eu tô forte, hein? Fazer um teste aqui. Vem por aqui. O que se marca? Como é que é o do mapa? Sei lá, mano. Aqui, deixa eu ver uma coisa aqui. Essa tia aqui.
Good evening.
Ó, nível 3.
Do you need?
I'm afraid.
Not on.
Thank you.
2.000. Nossa, ela. Ela, velho. Daqui a pouco tu vai me pra vala, tá, tia?
Good evening.
Your name.
I beg
What are you?
you.
Tô nem pra vocês.
Do you require?
My condition.
Well,
Thank you.
1.000. Vamos. Cara, eu quero XP, velho. Essa é real.
Why kill me, brother? We could have ruled this land together and forever.
Good.
Tá.
goodbye. Good evening. And good evening.
Nível 4. Não.
Do you need? There is no.
Isso, 2.000. Nossa, velho, eu preciso matar mais gente. Meu poder, velho.
Good evening.
Mais 300.000. Nossa, vou levar todo mundo pra vala, velho. Quero upar. Não vai sobrar mais ninguém. Não vai sobrar mais ninguém nesse hospital, mano. Eu tenho que upar pra 4, 5, velho. Pra pegar os caras de 2k, velho. Ah, mano, cara, eu vou ficar full habilidade, mano.
All I wanted was to go back to work, to take care of my children.
Good evening. Let us.
4.
Do you need?
2.000, velho.
Thank you for your time.
Quem é essa?
Good evening.
It's my.
I'm. Do you require?
Do you? What?
Cara, nível 4. Nossa, mano, eu vou pegar tanto. Mano, eu vou pegar muito poder, velho, quando pegar nível 4. Tio?
Good evening. Could you? Do you need any?
Vem aqui.
I don't feel the peace I was looking for. Mother, were you right all along? I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry.
Deixa eu ver uma coisa aqui. Mulher aqui.
Do you require me?
2.500, velho. Nossa, mas preciso upar logo, mano. Vou levar todo mundo pra vala. Vem, doutor. Nossa, mano, eu vou upar tanto. Daqui a pouco não vai ter mais ninguém nesse hospital aqui, mano.
I'm sorry, Nurse Brannigan. I won't witness the great doctor you were destined to be.
Tá, tamo bem, tamo bem. 2k de poder, tamo bem. 2k de poder não, 2k de... Vai, onde tá? Vai pra onde? Aqui embaixo. Aqui embaixo. Tô perdido. Me achei. Nossa, me levou todos do terceiro.
Thank you for your...
Não vou esperar. Agora eu vou esperar upar, mano, a minha habilidade. O cara sumiu, né, tia? Bah. Broken, né? Gente, tô perdido. Já tá ali dentro. Vai daqui, ó. Bora. O que tu fez, tia? Até pareceu. Vai ficar só eu e ela vivo, mano. No final das contas.
Speak up, Dr. Reed. I like a man who speaks his mind.
You killed him. He trusted you. And you killed him.
Spare me your sarcasm, Jonathan. You are but newly born in this world.
Nós somos vampiros, né? Fazer o quê? Precisamos de sangue.
We live by leeching the blood from weaker prey.
Precisamos de sangue para sobreviver.
Next chapter, his cynical and perhaps ultimate expression.
The situation is somewhat awkward nonetheless. I have not been observed sustaining myself for many decades. I have to say I'm a trifle embarrassed.
Anyway, I have concluded my inquiries concerning your blackmailer.
I see. Please excuse my agitated state. Under normal circumstances, I wouldn't let anyone see me in this condition.
The case is closed, permanently. You will not be bothered anymore by the woman.
And who was this woman?
If you must know, she worked under my employ as Nurse Crane. But I'll wager that's not what will be written on her gravestone.
You killed her? Is that what you consider discretion and diplomacy, Dr. Reed?
I did what I thought was best.
Ah, tia, não vai me dar o seu irmão. Eu quero sangue. Preciso de sangue pra upar.
You'll learn that trust is a rare and precious commodity in the Immortals world, my young doctor. And your actions have not induced me to offer you my support.
I bid you farewell.
Ah, não quero conversar contigo também.
I must quickly analyze the blood I took from Nurse Crane's patient.
Calma que eu tenho que upar lá, mano. Nossa, minha stamina agora tá on fire, hein? Peraí, tem alguém nesse quarto.
It's locked. It's locked.
Ah, vou ter que matar o cara e pegar a chave dele. Nossa. Quero. Quero 100 de XP. Tá, calma aí. Ah, agora eu posso fazer os bereguedeiros que os caras querem, mano. Calma, tio. Tá, eu tenho 2k, mano. Ah, 2k. Operação. Cara, eu não entendi aqui. Aqui eu tenho. Cara, agora eu não sei se eu posso, tipo, só pra cá ou só pra cá, mano. Medo. 5. Nossa, tô forte, hein? Tô forte, cara. Tô forte. Tô muito forte. Eu acho, né? Eu vou lá tomar o hit kill dos meliantes. Eu não sei de nada que tá acontecendo. Salvou o joguinho, né? Salvou. Eu não sei de nada, só tô fazendo a minha parte.